Sunk cost fallacy explained. 7 ways to quit after making a bad decision. Do you often find yourself continuing on a path that doesn't feel right, only because you've already invested so much time or money into it? You might strongly dislike what you're doing, but you feel like you have to stay the course because you've already gotten this far. And because of humans' natural aversion to loss, this mindset isn't uncommon. If this sounds familiar, then you're probably dealing with the negative consequences of the sunk cost fallacy mindset. In this video, I will explain why the sunk cost mindset can be dangerous. Then I'll detail 7 ways to help you overcome this way of thinking. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, then be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's start with a quick definition of the sunk cost fallacy. In business and economics, a sunk cost refers to any cost that has been paid and cannot be recovered. When you make decisions based on trying to make this money back, then you're thinking with a sunk cost fallacy mindset. For example, if you spend a lot of time and money on a business venture that's clearly not going well, it may be hard to admit defeat. However, the psychological drive to recover things that you've lost is a strong motivator that can cause you to continue making bad decisions. Now, the sunk cost fallacy mindset can also have a negative impact in your personal life. For example, let's say you decide to stop eating junk food, but you still have a few frozen pizzas, a container of cookies, and a giant bag of candy at home. With a sunk cost mindset, instead of trashing these unhealthy foods or giving them away, you eat the junk food because you've already spent money on them. So, why is it easy to succumb to the sunk cost mindset? Well, one reason is people have stronger emotional connections to things they've lost, including time, than they do to the things they've gained. Their mantra is, I already have too much invested, so I might as well keep going. However, the important thing to remember is that the time and money that you've already spent is already gone and can't be recovered, but any additional resources that you choose to forgo are still in your control. If you're midway through a terrible movie, will you stand by your decision to watch it because you've already purchased the ticket? Or will you do the sensible thing by walking out and doing something that you actually enjoy? Sure, your money is gone, but that doesn't necessitate wasting even more of your time. Or consider this example. I might as well stay in this toxic relationship because I've already invested so much time and emotion into this person. The more time you spend in a relationship with a sunk cost mindset, the more difficult it will become to leave. So, now that you understand how and why sunk cost fallacies occur, let's talk about ways to overcome this mindset in your personal life. If you get these right, you will save a lot of time, money, and heartache in the long run. Number 1. Keep track of your investments. Whether it's your time or money, it's important to know how much you've invested into a particular idea or area of your life. Then be ruthless and cut things out that don't bring you value. When it comes to cutting your losses, it's important to think about what you have to gain instead of what you've already lost. It's not hard to let go if you make an honest effort to focus your decisions toward the future rather than the past. Pause for a minute and consider what you could gain by cutting your losses now versus the additional losses you could incur if you kept moving forward. If the future looks brighter without the project at hand, then do some damage control and let it go. Number 2. Know your long-term goals. It's important to have established long-term goals and make your decisions based solely on what you want to accomplish in life. You can review these goals daily or create a vision board to visually represent what you want. The critical thing is to constantly remind yourself about what's really important. This will help you take action based on the things you want in the long term, rather than what you may lose in the short term. Avoid making decisions that are based only on the present moment without looking at what's best for your future. Number 3. Develop creative tension. You develop creative tension when you're able to describe your vision, your current reality, and the clear gap between the two. This gap leads to an energetic and motivational tension that must be resolved. The larger the gap is between your vision and your reality, the more creative tension you will have, which will boost your motivation to close that gap and reduce the tension. Number 4. Get the facts, not the hearsay. You may try to convince yourself that your dream will eventually become a reality if you keep pushing forward. But as you do that, take time to figure out if your dreams can actually be turned into reality. Consider the facts when telling yourself that one day this will all pay off. This thought process may be keeping you hanging on to a lost cause, as could well-meaning friends or family who urge you to stick with your goal because they're trying to be supportive. Stick to the facts. Give yourself a reality check and ignore any hearsay. Number 5. Let go of personal attachments. People have a tendency to stick to an original plan even if it's clearly going downhill, simply to avoid change. It's hard to let go of anything that has taken up your time and money, especially if you've developed some sort of emotional attachment to it. Let go of your fear of waste and failure. Just remember that the world is constantly evolving, and not all of your ideas will be good ones. This mindset will help ease your grip on something that you know in your heart is doomed. Number 6. Practice mindfulness. When you can focus on living in the present moment, you'll concentrate less on what has happened in the past. This will help you detach from any losses you've incurred and resist the sunk cost mindset. Take time to recognize the new information that comes up that suggests a change needs to be made. This will help you realize the long-term benefit of some decisions that may seem wasteful in the short term. Practicing mindfulness will reduce your likelihood of making decisions based on your emotions and help you focus on the things that are ultimately meaningful. And if you want to get started with this concept, then be sure to check out our video that profiles the 7 best mindfulness apps. Number 7. Admit your mistakes and move on. Finally, it's important to acknowledge your loss in time or money, then commit to moving on. Having the ability to accept your mistakes and learn from them is an important part of making better decisions for the future. To grow as a person, you have to be honest with yourself, even if the truth hurts. You can't control the past, so it doesn't make sense to ruminate on your mistakes. Learn from your mishaps and keep going. That's the essence of what's commonly known as a growth mindset. And to learn more, watch our video on 11 strategies you can use to develop the growth mindset. So, bottom line, the sunk cost fallacy mindset doesn't just lead to poor decisions, it can also impact your life on a larger scale. And the bigger the decision, the easier it is to fall prey to the sunk cost fallacy mindset. Can you think of a time when you continued with something just because you've already spent time and money on it? If you can relate to this, share your story in the comments to help other viewers avoid the sunk cost fallacy. Finally, if you'd like to see more actionable strategies to help you build a better life, then please like this video and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stick around to watch the next video on our channel.